We kick off another week of Grand Slam Saturday. Happy Labor Day weekend to y'all. This is Big Polly coming to you. We're going to have at least three, maybe six matches from GSW as the week progresses. I don't know what I'll be able to get done this week, but we'll guarantee you at least three matches. Maybe we could get to the Okerlund Cup in Honolulu, Hawaii. But if not, we will just throw it on the next week's show. Our first event is from Tokyo, Japan, and it is a big one. It's going to be a battle of babyfaces, Pat O'Connor. I'm sure he'll come in with a little bit of an edge. And he faces Antonio Inoki. The two met late last year, and O'Connor won a bout to get to the final against Jerry Lawler to find the interim world champ, which O'Connor lost to Lawler, and O'Connor took some devious maneuvering. He strangled Inoki with some microphone cord to win the bout. That was kind of unlike him, but they have mended fences. But now O'Connor is world champion, and Antonio Inoki would like to be the first Japanese world champion in GSW history. Let's go through the matches as they occurred, an 11-bout card. Week 34 kicking off in year number 4. Black Japan, a team of Muta and Chono, Masahiro Chono, Great Muta, they drew with the masked grapplers who put on a good showing. Tosh Togo made his GSW debut, better known if you've ever watched the James Bond movie Goldfinger. It was the second 007 movie with Sean Connery in it. Togo loses by pin to Kentaro Oki. Pepper Gomez and Mark Rocco, a couple of international stars, at least from the Japanese point of view, they go to a 20-minute draw, as does Steve Austin and Vampiro from the Lucha Libre circuit. Tojo Yamamoto and Koji Kamamoto go to a double DQ. The Love Brothers surprise the Fabulous Ones and win by pin at 5:33. Double countout between Daniel Bryan and Paul Jones. And then we went to the title bouts. It was Ella Waldeck and Mae Young over the Crush Girls. Crush Girls were a little bit of a favorite, shockingly, according to the Japanese expert, but Waldeck and Young retained by countout. Mitsuharu Misawa and Kawada have just withdrawn from the Tokyo circuit tournament in the Okerlund Cup that we may have for you later this week. So if Misawa is needed to defend his Monarch of the Mat honors against either Pat O'Connor or John Pezek, he can. They went to a double DQ with Brody and Hansen, and it will be a little bit of a pickup in rankings points for Brody and Hansen because they're 25 points off. So they pick up 1 plus the 2 bonus points, they get to 3. But right before we went to air, we had a surprising result. Kendo Nagasaki, the British Kendo Nagasaki, not to be confused with the Florida grappler named Kendo Nagasaki, who's actually Kaz Sakurada. He wins by pinfall over Jumbo Tsuruta. Nagasaki had knocked off and been very competitive with one of the greats of all time here in GSW, including pinning Bruno Sammartino in 1 point. He wins 8:28, and Kendo Nagasaki is your new Pacific champ. That brings us to our world title bout, and I'm seeing dark clouds moving in, so I better get this done fast. And we will set up the trade holds here. We use Wrestling's Finest version 3 for this game. Tom Vogel's Wonder. Hello, Tom, if you're out there. And this is for the World's Championship. Pat O'Connor, the champ. Antonio Inoki has the opportunity to win the title, although the computer does not think Inoki will be able to do it. He has 60 minutes to score a pinfall or a submission before any other result occurs. If he does that, he's the new World's champ. O'Connor has now been champ 7 weeks. And we start with a suplex attempt. O'Connor, wasting no time, hoisting Inoki into the air and ka-chunk, a snap suplex for 9 points. No action. No action. O'Connor in control. And yeah, he's gone back to choking. Oh my goodness, look at O'Connor here. He's got a little bit of an edge being the champ. I'm sure the crowd wants to see Inoki win the title here. But some uncouth maneuvering here by O'Connor. But, you know, When you're champion, you got to do these things, I suppose. Whip to the ropes and a big boot by O'Connor catches Inoki square in the on the chin, and that's a 7 point loss for Inoki. Inoki had that pelican chin of his, and O'Connor leaving the ring, and he's now in positive territory in terms of stamina. He's at plus 10, which you don't often see in wrestling's finest. Neck hold, a front chancery, that's 5 more points off. So Connor doing well here, up 41 points at the 319 mark. Legal knee, Inoki now trying to work down the deficit, that's 6 points. And a supplé attempt of his own and a pin attempt, but it does not even get to a 1 count. Inoki, of course, famous for battling Muhammad Ali in 1976 in a much ballyhooed bout back in that era. Headbutt by Inoki, and it did have some effect on Inoki's career. Backdrop suplex, no pin. It only gets a count of 1 on O'Connor because Inoki had problems with his leg. I believe he had some blood clotting issues, and that slowed him down a little bit and made him a little less mobile and a little more easier to hit. And a fighter named Leon Spinks would beat him February 14, 1978 in Las Vegas. Ali, not Inoki. Enziguri by Inoki. That's countered. Connor goes for the rolling cradle. That too is countered. Backdrop supplé. No, only a 1 count. And on we go in this world title bout. Inoki leading. He scores with a kick. Top rope knee drop. That does not even get a 1 count, even though the move was executed perfectly. No action. Illegal throat chop by Inoki. Disqualified check. And a possible DQ stop. The pinhold inside cradle for O'Connor. No pin. Only a count of 1. And we're 10 minutes into this bout. Inoki up about 35 points. Connor has had some battles with John Pezic. He'll have one at the end of this week in Honolulu. And we will either have that for you this week, later on, or next week, depending on how my schedule goes. No pin. It'll either be the last bout in this edition or it'll be the third bout in next week's edition. Bear hug, that's a submission that it's not going to get the desired end result. Abdominal stretch, that's not going to get the desired end result either. No action, no action. Neck hold by O'Connor. Auto control loss and no action, so a lot of nothing going on. Figure 4, that's not going to get a submission. So Inoki holding on to a slight lead now at the 14:38 mark, and single leg Boston Crab, but O'Connor easily kicks out of that. Octopus hold, and O'Connor gets out of that. Chopped by Inoki. See somebody waving papers at ringside. I could not see who that is and why they'd be interested in this bout. Illegal chop by Inoki, a submission move. So Inoki now back up to about a 50-point lead. Illegal forearm hits O'Connor and does an arm hold. Kick by Inoki. He wanted to use kicks against Ali, but they decided that Inoki could not use kicks. Although he could not kick from a standing position, I believe the ruling was. We have a legal throw by Inoki. Got a 2 count, but not a 3 count. Illegal punches by Pat O'Connor. No action and an auto control loss. A hair pull by Inoki. And that's 4 points off. Connor complaining a little bit to the referee. Inoki doing very well in this bout very early on. Whip to the ropes by Inoki and a turnbuckle move. Face first in the turnbuckle goes O'Connor. Slight chance of getting a pin here, but not to be. No action. O'Connor's headlock countered. Supplé attempt by Inoki. Ka-chunk, it scores. And Inoki doing surprisingly well. He's now opened up an 88-point lead at the 21:07 mark. A body slam. 1, no pin. Leg drop by Inoki. No pin. Fan interaction. The crowd trying to give Inoki some encouragement, trying to be that fourth man in the ring. And Inoki's lead is now 117 points after the neck hold and a headbutt. Arm hold used by Inoki. The question is now, can he get a pin within 60 minutes? We're at 24-13. Forearm right back for O'Connor. No pin. Pin hold, a backslide for O'Connor. So he's put together a couple of pin combinations here. He's up to 4 pin attempts, and Inoki has 8. Now O'Connor using arm holds. Octopus hold, but that's not going to get a submission, so we ignore that. Leg drop. Oh, doesn't even get a 1 count. So that's the 9th pin attempt for Inoki. Great bout here to start off Grand Slam Saturday this September 4. Legal forearm by O'Connor, an arm hold, a leg hold, no action. Auto control loss. Now Inoki with a leg hold. His lead still enormous. Quick body slam, no pin. Inoki with a disqualified check, strategy card used. Neck hold by Inoki countered. Here comes O'Connor, and Inoki is cut. A barrage of punches outside the ring has opened up. Antonio Inoki, 27 points in cut, so that's a 42-point hit for Inoki, who still has a sizable lead, but O'Connor could probably gain some effectiveness. A rolling cradle, that's countered by Inoki. He goes for a small package, gets a 1 count, and that's it. Throat chop by Inoki. And a throat chop again by Inoki. This one a legal one. Turnbuckle, legal turnbuckle move. Got a 2 count. Series of punches to Pat O'Connor. So both men going Fist City here. A kick by Inoki. 1 count, 2 count. And way off on the 3. So Inoki up 100 points. Even a time limit draw would help his cause immensely. Trying to get him into the world title contending picture. It's usually a top 10 contender in GSW. Neck hold by O'Connor. Using that neck to crank on Inoki. Roundhouse right countered. Body scissors, but that's not going to get a submission. Inoki, backdrop suplex. 1, 2, almost got the 3. Almost got it. A 2 on the 3 count. O'Connor, if it was a 1, it would have been a title change. Arm hold by Inoki. Some more arm holds. And you get the sense that Inoki might have O'Connor's number. Headbutt by Inoki. Arm hold back for O'Connor. Auto control loss. Submission move. Arm breaker for O'Connor. Kick right back by Inoki. Heartbeat away was Antonio Inoki from being world champion. Whipped to the ropes by O'Connor. Another illegal throat chop by Pat O'Connor. Desperately trying to hang on to his title here. We're at the 40-54 mark. Inoki is cut, but he's got a 111-point lead at the moment as O'Connor scores with another kick. We're 41-28 into the bout. Speed moves. O'Connor's sticking and moving. He thinks he's got a speed edge. Whipped to the ropes. Inoki whipped into turnbuckle. Neck hold by O'Connor. Another front chancery. Slowing the match down. Running them hot and running them cold. And the lead now under 100. So O'Connor coming back into this match. A body press. Got a 2 count but could not get the 3. Illegal punches countered. Inoki's coming right back with a choke. Got a 1 count on that. We've had 21 pin attempts. 15 of them have been by Inoki. We're at 43-49. We're about 16 minutes away from a time limit draw. Clothesline by Inoki. 1, 2. But he couldn't get the 3. Remember, he only get a 1. Only a 1 would change the title here. Leg hold by Inoki, who some here in Japan have been calling the People's Champ. Forearm by Inoki. Chop by Inoki. Body slam for O'Connor and an eye gouge. So play attempt by Pat O'Connor. We're at 13, under 13 minutes, closing in on 12 minutes. Illegal low blow, but it gets a 2 count. Again, close but no cigar for Inoki. Another low whip to the ropes, and this time another 2 count. It's going to be a very interesting last, 11 and a half minutes of this bout. And O'Connor was nailed on the arena floor as Inoki jumped on him from the ring apron, Macho Man Randy Savage style. 10 points. Inoki back up 100 points. A suplex. One and only one. 19 pin attempts now. And now here comes number 20, a forearm. No pin. O'Connor has kicked out 20 times. And here we go, the final 10 minutes of the bout. Fan interaction. And the crowd chanting, Inoki, Inoki. Abdominal stretch, but that's not going to be a submission that gets to an end result. Pile driver by O'Connor. Ooh, and that's not going to get a pin. O'Connor 7 pin attempts, but Inoki has 20 in this 60-minute bout. Kicked by Inoki, kicked by O'Connor. Some more fan interaction, and again, the crowd chanting very loudly, Inoki, Inoki. 8 minutes left. Pile driver countered by Inoki, who comes back with an arm hold. What could he be thinking of to put the bout away? A turnbuckle move. As Inoki draped a leg over O'Connor, worked on that leg a little bit. Forearm by O'Connor. Body slam countered. Neck hold by O'Connor. Trying desperately to get out of this bout with the title intact. Abdominal stretch, well, that's not going to get an end result. Inoki up 109 points. A suplex attempt by Pat O'Connor. And that only gets a 1 count. We have 5 minutes to go. Arm hold by O'Connor. Speed move. Sticking and moving is O'Connor. Thinks he has a speed edge, but the experts here in Japan don't think so. Neck hold by O'Connor. He's trying to stall his way to victory here, or at least to a draw. Speed move. Legal throw. Under 3 minutes. We're at 2:45 now. Leg drop countered. O'Connor looking better and better as we get to the 60-minute mark. His lead now dwindled down to, he's now only down 66 points. No action, no action. Illegal punches by O'Connor. No pin. Headbutt by Inoki. Knee by Inoki. One of the last chance he will get for a successful pin, but he can't get it done. 21 pin attempts. Roll up by Inoki. No! And that's going to do it. That's going to do it. In fact, it looked like that roll-up took place beyond the 60-minute time limit. But we have a draw, a 60-minute draw, 5-star match between O'Connor and Inoki. O'Connor will keep the title, but the question is, will that be his last title defense? Because he has a no DQ bout with John Pezic in Honolulu. Great effort by Inoki, but once again, he is a day late and $1 short. And right now, we're going to head over to the Mexico City circuit. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our second stop of 3 here on this Labor Day weekend edition of Grand Slam Saturday. So I did decide to, indeed, this is going to be just a quick stop. We'll let everybody enjoy their Labor Day holiday weekend plans. And we're in Mexico City now for the World Junior Heavyweight title defense of Jack Sherry, who just defeated Jackie Pallo for the Junior Heavyweight title. He's going to be up against Dr. Wagner Jr., looking to win the World Junior Heavyweight title himself a third time. Antonino Rocca holds the record most Junior Heavyweight reigns with 4. And with that, let's go through what has happened on the Mexico City card. It was the Fabulous Kangaroos, who I have down as Kang's Roos. So I fixed that right in front of you. They were held to a draw by Tony Gurria and Larry Zbyszko. El Texano won by DQ over David Von Arrow. Varick when El Santo interfered for some reason. Don Leo Jonathan got a double countout with Mystico. Then we had a bevy of draws. Lex Luger and Roland Bach. Biff Wellington and Ricky Chozu. And Tommy Rich won by DQ. Wildfire over Johnny Barron when Chozu interfered on Rich. So they'll have a match in a couple of weeks. It was the Blackjacks over the Southern Rockers. El Santo and Ultimo Guerrero go 20 without a winner. And then in our previous title bouts before this, it was the Riot Squad winning by DQ over Dos Caras and Mil Mascaras, so they'll get another shot at it in 2 weeks' time. El Koenig defeated Superstar Billy Graham by DQ when Donnelly O'Jonathan interfered. So they will collide in our next card on week 36. And that brings us to our main event here in Mexico City. You might remember Sherry was injured in the latter stages of his World Junior Heavyweight title win, so he will be impaired in this bout. It's a lot easier for me to mark him as impaired instead of going through all the hold trading. Sherry comes in 11-4-3 in year 4. He debuted this year, and Dr. Wagner Jr. 6-3-2. That includes technical wins, technical losses, technical draws. Sherry the favorite. So Dr. Wagner Jr. has 60 minutes to pick up a fall by pinfall or submission to win the title. Otherwise, Sherry will remain champion if any other result occurs. And we're off and running. Leg drop right away by Dr. Wagner Jr., the challenger. Not to be confused with Dr. Wagner Sr., although they just call him Dr. Wagner. Arm hold by the challenger. And Sherry comes back with a leg hold. Very early in this 60-minute time limit bout. Legal power move. Across the knee backbreaker by Sherry, not to be confused with the Argentine backbreaker that Antonino Rocca invented. And was he the first to ever do it? He might not have been. So on we go. Legal knee by Sherry. Legal power move by Sherry as he's flinging Dr. Wagner Jr. Around the ring like a sack of potatoes. And takedown into an arm twist and a pin. And he got him. Sherry is your winner. In very quick time, despite the impairment of being injured, he wins 3 minutes and 15 seconds into the bout. A very quick win for Jack Sherry. And if whoever holds the World Junior Heavyweight title in week 39, they'll go off to London, and Jackie Pallo will be awaiting Sherry a rematch for his lost Junior Heavyweight crown. So that does it, folks. This was abundantly quick, only needing 3 minutes and 15 seconds. And the winning hold was a takedown into an arm twist. And somehow Sherry turns that into a pinning combination. He only took 10 points of damage. Wagner took 27. The bout got 3 stars, so that tells me had it gone a while, we would have been up closer to 4 or 5. So that's our match, and now we head off to London town. Before proceeding to our third match, I just wanted to note that, as some of you know, Facebook has fundraisers when people approach their birthdays. Mine is coming Monday, September 6th. I will turn 50 years old. Thank you very much. And the charity I selected for our birthday fundraisers was the Alzheimer's Association. This is very near to my heart because my grandfather and grandmother both deteriorated from Alzheimer's. My grandfather passing in 1985. My mother, not my mother. I'm going to get to my mother in just a moment. My grandmother on my mom's side died Christmas Day 1994, and now I'm seeing my mom go through it. I wanted to thank Al and the Delaney's for donating $200. We've already reached our goal for the fundraiser for the Alzheimer's Association. Any of you wanting to give, please do. I appreciate it very much. But if you don't, you're still my buds. But I just wanted to mention that this is my Facebook charity for my birthday coming up. which will probably, if you see this beyond September 6th, will have already have passed. So the Alzheimer's Association, and you could see the link. It will be at the Big Polly's World of Sports Sims Facebook group. It's the name is like the Facebook channel, Big Polly's World of Sports Sims. Thank you all very much. And now let's get to our match, our championship match between the Briscoe brothers and the interns, as I do a little juxtaposing here, doing this early on Friday morning, just keeping abreast of a few things, and off we go. This is in the London circuit, so let's give you the results of the London circuit matches real fast before we get to our world title bout. In fact, let me set up the world title bout in front of you because I forgot we were just in our last bout, which was Bert Azarati and Dynamite Kid going to a double countout in a minute. It'll be the interns managed by J.C. Dykes, and they will get it's their first defense of their world tag titles against the Briscoe brothers, Jack and Jerry. Some of you may know Jerry from that wonderful podcast he and JBL started, Bradshaw, called Stories. And the last story they had was with Lex Luger, and I haven't heard it yet, so I'll give that a listen as I can. So Jack and Jerry are in the London circuit. They will as the highest ranked team, get the crack at the world tag titles against the interns. The Briscoe brothers have never been world champs in the GSW, so this could be a first for them. And let me do my trade hold, and then I'll catch you abreast of what happened in the remainder of the bouts in London, and then get you to our world title bout. We began with a tag team bout, as we always seem to do here in GSW. It was Kendrick and London, Brian Kendrick, Paul London winning by pin over the Hells Angels. A big upset, so a bit of a score for them. Davies Boy Smith and Mr. Olympia went to a double countout. Dick Murdoch, George Kidd go to a draw, as did Ric Flair, making his London debut. Drew with Tom Zink, so Zink will pick up some buku points for the draw there. Cowboy Watts won by DQ over Edge, Cowboy Bill Watts. Edge went banana, as Pat Patterson would say, and he will be suspended 60 days for punching out a bunch of referees. Eddie and Mike Graham go to a double DQ with Bobby Shane and Buddy Colt. Otto wins. Jackie Pallo went to a draw. A lot of draws on the prelims. I'm thinking about moving the prelims back up to 30-minute time limits instead of 20, because with 20 we get a lot of draws, but the flip side of that is everybody picks up points when there are draws, or they don't lose any points. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant lose again by DQ to the Von Bronners, so they're going to have a no DQ match in a couple of weeks. Bert Azarati, Dynamite Kid go to the DCO, double count out in just 1 minute. So that sets up our main event. So stand by for it, if you please. And now we could start our match, Briscoes and interns for the World Tag Team titles, which the interns hold. Did I set up the moves? You might have seen me do this already. I just like to double check and be certain, and I am. Let's go. Computer always goes with the chalk, always likes the champs, and that's fine. Illegal punches by the champs, and they get off to the first start of the match. And look at that, just as quickly as J.C. Dykes is brought using some substance and rubbing some substance into the Briscoe sides. Very quick outside interference lost for the interns, so the Briscoes will win by DQ in just 42 seconds. So they win 42 seconds in, but they do not win the titles. The interns will keep theirs. And they'll have to hope the next time the interns come to London that the Briscoes are still in the region or don't hold any other championship. So that's how this is going to go. And this has been this week's edition of Grand Slam Saturday. We will be back, not January, wishful thinking on my part, September 10th, with the Okerlund Cup matches and stops in New York, Atlanta, and Texas. This has been Big Paulie coming to you, wishing well, Godspeed, God bless. We'll do it all again soon, and bye-bye for now, everybody.